Hi everyone, it's Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutique. So right now there are two really huge jewelry trends. One is mala inspired jewelry and the other are those fabulous stretchy stacking bracelets. So I'm going to show you how to take both of those elements and combine them into one gorgeous wrap style bracelet. So come and join me and see how great this one turns out. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to make this bracelet. This one is a 5 wrap, but I'm going to show you how to make a 3 wrap. You can make it your own, make it as many wraps as you like. So I'm going to use elasticity. We're going to use the 0.8. We find that that's sort of a universal size. And I'm going to leave it right on the spool, and that'll help reduce any waste. I'm going to use some 8mm beads, and I've got a collection of different colors here. This is some mother of pearl. And these are our gorgeous woods that we import in from the Philippines. This is our matte gray wood and our matte ebony wood. I've also got some size 8 seed beads. Just going to dump those out there. I've got a little charm and a jump ring and a little guru bead that I'm going to use like a bail later on. We're also going to use some GS Hypo cement today, a pair of scissors, and just some chain nose pliers to put our jump ring on. Okay, so the way that I measure this is I take my wrist size and I figure out how many beads are going to fit on, and then I add one more bead. So I've got about an 8-inch wrist, and I have found that about 20 beads with the seed beads in between sort of fits my wrist. So you sort of have to judge and see where yours works. So what I'm going to do is just put on a bead. You can't get much more simple than this, but this gives you that mala sort of look. And then I put on a seed bead, and the odd one doesn't want to go in there, but we'll just boss it around and make it go in there. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I've got my row of beads on there. So add enough beads to go around your wrist once, and then add one more of your size 8 beads. So I'm going to put this color on, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to do the next color. Okay, so now you can see that I've got my first row completed. I've got my matte gray wood 8mm beads on there, and I've got a single one of my 8/0 seed beads in between, and that gives us that sort of mala look. And now I'm going to continue on with my next color. So I've got another 20 beads in my mother of pearl, and I'm going to put those on. So I'm going to pop those on, and then I'm going to continue on and show you how to complete the bracelet. So now you can see I've got my 2 colors put on there, and I'm going to put on my 3rd and final color, and then I'm going to show you how to wrap this whole thing up. Okay, so now you can see that I've got everything all loaded on here, but one of the things that I forgot to mention that I like to do before I start is that I take my elastic and I give it a good stretch. And this gives it just that little extra so that you're not working with a really stiff piece of elastic, and also it won't end up drooping on your wrist after. So make sure that you stretch it along like this the whole way, and then at the other end where you're now, like I finished here, so I'm going to take it and I'm just going to give it a little stretch. And that makes it also a little bit easier to cut it. So now I'm going to give it a trim, and I've got sort of big hands, so I don't like to leave just a little tiny bit to it. I know it's a lot of waste there, but you know, I just don't like to work with little bits, but you can cut it however you like. So I've got 3 equal pieces, and one of the things you want to double check before you do it, see, I missed one right there. See, it's a good thing that I said that, because I always want to make sure that I have all of my pattern going. And sometimes when I get busy doing things, and you know, I'm always doing 2 things at once, I will miss one of my seed beads on there. And of course I picked one up that doesn't work. So let's try another one here. Sometimes they have holes that are just a little bit on the smaller side. So we'll try this one here. So always take time to double check your pattern before you do your piece up. And it looks pretty good to me now. All right. So now I'm going to take my little guru bead here, and I'll have a complete list of all the parts that I've used, and they're all available on our website. So I'm going to pop that on there. Now for the tying, I just tie a regular knot, just like I'm going to tie my shoes, and I just pull that together there. And I now put a little bit of tension, so you can see that that is pretty tight in there. So now you kind of need to have, you know, 2 sets of hands, or 4 sets, I guess. Well, no, I guess it would be 2 sets, wouldn't it? So what you want to do is try and keep some tension down here while you're tying this next part of the knot. So what I do is I pull it tight, and I'm sort of using these fingers here and holding it like that. Now I'm going to do a surgeon's knot. So I'm going to tie it like my shoes and go through once. And then you're going to bring that through again. Of course, because I've got such a long piece here, it's hard to see. So bring that through again. So it's just like shoes, but you're bringing in that extra. So you can see I'm leaving the tension down there. And I start to pull it down, and then I quickly pull it so that it pops in there nice and tight. So give that, you're actually pulling it fairly tight. It feels a little bit scary to do it with elastic, but it does actually, you know, it doesn't break unless you pull it ridiculously tight. So some people like to add one more knot. I just keep pulling it tight until it's in there where I want it. Now I'm going to take a little bit of GS Hypo glue. And I like to use this glue because it doesn't eat the elastic. So I put a little drop on one side and then a little drop on the other. And I usually sort of separate it like this so that I'm not getting glue on my beads. And I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to finish it. Okay, so I think that that is fairly dry. So now I can come in and snip those little ends off. And I do want to cut them fairly close. And if you've tied your knot nice and tight, it'll hold nicely. And then the nice part about this guru bead is it has a hole there that's large enough that you can now take that and just sort of pull it backwards. So let's give it a tug, and now it pops right in there. So the other thing is I do like to end on a bead and not on a seed bead because I don't want that seed bead to get in the way. So I'm now going to open up my jump, put on my little charm. I mean, you can put anything on here. You can do some other beads. You can put on a tassel. You can put on a charm and a tassel. It's your piece. You can do whatever you like. So I'm going to open up my jump ring, always making sure to open this way and never that way, and attach it. And I always like to use a small jump ring and it with a heavier gauge. So this is an 18 gauge jump ring that's 4.5 millimeters. So it's nice and small and tough, and it'll hold. Okay, so that's how that looks. So now when you go to put it on, you can see on how I've got mine. You'll end up with a little tiny piece across there, but that doesn't bother me at all. So you just wrap it. So that's one wrap, and then two wraps, and then three wraps. So you can see it looks like three separate bracelets on the top, and then you've got your cute little dangle on the bottom. So give this one a try. I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of your favorite ones to wear. Everybody comments when you've got one on because they look fabulous. You can use any color combinations that you like, and just have some fun with it. So there you go. There's our Mala-inspired stretchy wrap bracelet. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give me a like, leave me a comment. I always try to get back to everybody, and please subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for watching.